Yeah, so Medellin is an amazing city. It's seriously a beautiful, beautiful place. A lot of nomads go there. We joke so much so that like everyone wants to come. There's a bunch of alien sightings there too. Like it's one of the highest cities with the most UFO sightings. So like even the aliens love Medellin.
Medellin is Colombia's second largest city. It's often called the City of Eternal Spring for its year-round good climate. Surrounded by the beautiful nature of the Andes Mountains and known for its innovation and buzzing nightlife, it's become a popular destination for tourists and remote workers, or digital nomads, who come to enjoy the city's affordable lifestyle and hedonistic party scene.
This is my second video, my friends. Here we have amazing, beautiful Medellin. Wow.
Search for Medellin on TikTok, Instagram or YouTube and you'll notice how popular the city has become with young men. In fact, over the last few years, nearly 60% of all tourists visiting the city are men below the age of 40. On social media, one group of men are particular advocates for Medellin being a great place for travellers to visit. They're known as the Passport Bros. It's a broad movement, but there are some central themes. They are mostly young men from the United States who say they are tired and unhappy with life in their own country, so they seek a better life for themselves overseas, working remotely, earning in dollars. But, as you're about to hear, a surge in young foreign men going to the city hasn't been without problems.
Medellin's reputation as a hub for partying, drugs and alcohol creates an environment that leads to sexual exploitation. The lack of opportunities contributes to the exploitation of minors.
Welcome to BBC Trending. I'm Phoebe Hopson. I've lived in and reported on Colombia for several years. After the country signed a peace deal with the rebel group FARC in 2016, the reputation of Colombia changed from being too dangerous to travel to becoming a really popular destination with visitors. In this episode, we've been looking at the effect that a group of digital nomads known as the Passport Bros have had on Medellin.
You know, you're just able to live in paradise with beautiful people and only spend a fraction of what you were in your hometown.
Austin is a 33-year-old data scientist from Colorado in the United States. He says he left his home 4 years ago to become a digital nomad. That's a remote worker who bounces from location to location as a lifestyle choice. He says that moving countries has helped him improve his life in a variety of ways, and it's those improvements he has now become an evangelist for. On social media under the username Digital Bromad, Austin extols the benefits for young men of changing their country. He cites currency power, freedom to work and travel, and a healthier lifestyle as all being reasons to move overseas, particularly to places culturally outside what he refers to as the West. He also highlights another benefit of living in places like Medellin to his over 500,000 followers, the ability to date and meet women.
Dating is a piece of the puzzle, but it is the inflammatory piece of the puzzle. I feel like that's the one that I think it gets the most pushback, is saying that dating options I've had a better success dating outside of the West. And I think that's what Passport Bros would agree with, that dating is better outside the West.
In one of Austin's videos titled How to Get a Big Booty Latina, Austin holds his US passport and suggests spots where you can meet local women, for example, a language exchange where locals and tourists can teach each other Spanish and English.
Then you're going to help people learn English and you're going to learn about the culture and community of Colombia. And in doing so, you're going to meet a beautiful Latina lady interested in learning English.
There's plenty of bravado in his videos as he jokes around with women and explains how much further your money can go when taking a girl out on a date, explaining it's easier to meet women abroad than at home. In our chat, he talks of the dating culture in the US deteriorating. He highlights how men can improve their outcomes by changing their dating app locations.
Any guy in the West can test this. You know, set your dating app location to not just Medellin, set it to someplace in Rio de Janeiro, set it to a place in the Philippines. Each of these places have beauty standards. You're immediately one in, 500, one in 1,000, and that can get you attention. Also, you're a foreigner. That's attractive. Sometimes women are tired of dating in their own culture, and they're like, I guess I'll give a Westerner a shot. Here's a person. I mean, you stand out on dating apps. I would also say, you know, your life looks amazing. If you're a passport bro, your photos are probably you in Brazil, on the beaches of Brazil. The next photos, you on a jet ski in Colombia. I'm also more attractive to women back home since I started traveling full time.
Austin isn't the only one. Many social media accounts offer tips for how foreign men should approach dating in Latin America, and specifically Medellin. Lots of the videos are light-hearted, but others allude to a deep dissatisfaction with dating in the US, a bitterness against using dating apps in their own country, and why, in their opinion, you should date a Latina over a woman in the US. But you don't have to look far to find videos with a stronger tone that are very different from the kinds of posts Austin shares. But they also feature the term passport bro. Dozens of videos showcase the city's sex tourism industry, and some refer to the city as the world's biggest open-air brothel. One TikTok account has posted several videos that pan across Medellin's streets in a popular nightlife area. The videos show exclusively young women clustered in small groups or coupled together. They appear to be unaware they're being filmed. Ratio of Women in Medellin, Colombia reads the title on several of these videos. #passport bros, #hookup, #working women, it continues. In Colombia, sex work is legal and is often common in tourist areas. What's concerning people in the country is that some foreign men are travelling to sexually exploit children, mostly underage girls. There are clear examples reported in the international press of foreign men travelling to Medellin and other cities to have sex with underage girls, often entering the country multiple times. Finding precise statistics on sexual exploitation in Colombia isn't easy because there are serious issues of impunity and a lot goes unreported. According to Colombian prosecutors, there have been 9,500 cases of underage sexual exploitation in the last 4 years, and Medellin's tourist boom is thought to have added to the problem. We've spoken to people who say how sexual exploitation happens in Medellin is complicated. A lot starts online and often takes place in privately rented accommodation. Complex and sophisticated networks linked to criminal gangs operate in the city. But even in public tourist hotspots, in plain sight, there are concerns foreign men are paying to sleep with underage girls. Medellin is a party city. It's why many people travel there. We asked a freelance journalist based in Colombia, Emily Hart, to head down to Parque Lleras, an area at the heart of Medellin's nightlife. Here's what she saw in the early hours of a Saturday morning.
The park itself has bars around the edge, but most people are milling around outside, particularly in one corner of the square. Many are sex workers, some in small groups, others alone. A lot of them are disturbingly young-looking, braces on their teeth and acne visible even through layers of makeup. The other major demographic in the square is foreign men, again, some in small groups, others alone. The police are here too, occasionally walking through the park and past the bars, though I don't see them checking IDs or even speaking to anybody. Hasmin tells me it's unlikely that the girls are here against their will, and there certainly aren't pimps or gang members visibly interacting with anybody here.
Emily visited the area with Hasmin Santalvarez, a research professor at a local university in Medellin. She's a keen campaigner against sexual exploitation and has been studying how the arrival of young foreign men has changed the city.
Passport bros who come in groups, in teams. And when you see who's coming, the demography of who is on the street changes. We've seen lots of underage young Afro-Colombian girls and trans women who are here tonight, and they are meeting the demand of foreign men who are coming here. You used to see adult trans women, and now you see underage trans girls.
Hasmin notes that many of the passport bros come with clear ideas of what they want from their experience, and the most sold products in pharmacies that surround the area are condoms and Viagra.
They come for a week and they want to have lots of sex. Lots of them come to consume lots of drugs. To get into nightclubs, underage girls use fake IDs.
She also adds that although sexual exploitation has existed in the city for a long time, the arrival of large numbers of wealthy tourists means that in a city where there is extreme poverty, underage girls end up being exploited on the false promise of a better future. Colombia as a country has a complicated and violent past. It has grappled with decades of civil war and powerful drug cartels, and Medellin was at the heart of it. It was the base for the Medellin cartel, Pablo Escobar's infamous drug operation, and during his time, the murder rate was the highest in the world. For years, Colombia was considered too dangerous for tourists. But since the government agreed a landmark peace deal with Colombia's largest rebel group, FARC, in 2016, tourism surged. Following the pandemic, the Foreign Ministry introduced a digital nomad visa that allows remote workers to legally reside and work in Colombia for up to 2 years. In 2022, almost 1.5 million people visited the city, popular for its fair weather and warm hospitality, up from 200,000 in 2015.
Hola Jenny, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
I spoke to Jenny Jimenez from Movimiento Acción Corazón, a citizen-run not-for-profit that was created 9 years ago to protect the rights of children. I asked her how this spike in tourism has impacted Medellin.
Colombia was not ready for so many tourists. It's obvious when you see the tourists who has come to get to know the place and who has come to do harm. It's not family tourism here, it's male tourism. You'll see it in the street, 4, 5, 6 men walking by themselves. I call them hunters because they are hunting. It's not sustainable tourism.
The legal age of consent in Colombia is 14, but laws surrounding sexual exploitation mean that any relationship with anyone under the age of 18 in exchange for gifts or money is illegal. The sexualization of underage girls is a concern for many residents in the city. Local media have reported high incidences of sexual exploitation in the city's wealthy areas where tourists often stay. In spring last year, protesters shouted with anger that the city was not a brothel and foreign men looking for sex were not welcome. It came after an American man was found in a hotel room with 2 local girls aged 12 and 13, in a case widely covered by local media. The 36-year-old was held in police custody for 12 hours, then released while officials investigated the case. Local media reported he left Colombia and went to Florida. In response, in April last year, the mayor of Medellin, Federico Gutierrez, banned prostitution in tourist areas and forced bars in Provenza and Parquelleras to close earlier. He's also continued the tactic of his predecessor of implementing curfews for underage children unless accompanied by their parent. Critics say this is limiting victims' freedoms.
Hola, soy Valerie P. Ramirez.
Valerie Ramirez is the president of the Sex Workers Union. She says the policies are targeting the wrong people and the emphasis should be put on those seeking underage sex and not on adult sex workers.
The government isn't criminalizing those who are committing crimes, those tourists who are coming to exploit underage women. After the pandemic, the situation became obvious and got worse. We, as union, are completely against the exploitation of children and also sex trafficking. Us, sex workers, are not encouraging sexual exploitation, and as a union, we actually report when we see exploitation to authorities and we report hotels who are letting underage people in.
Valerie's job is dangerous, not only working as a prostitute, but being a visible voice in guaranteeing the rights of sex workers, and she has received death threats. She says foreign men often avoid paying by reporting prostitutes to the police, saying they've been robbed. In the making of this programme, we came across several videos on YouTube and TikTok that highlighted areas for prostitution in Medellin. Combined, they have hundreds of thousands of views.
The most that you should be spending is from $350 to 400,000 Colombian pesos. And I'm talking about like for top of the line, top-notch quality females. I'm not talking about just any type of female. I'm talking about top-notch quality females.
We reached out to the content creators behind several of these videos, including this one. But despite our best efforts, they didn't get back to us. Austin does not promote prostitution in his own videos. He told us he hates what videos pushing prostitution have done to the passport bro movement. He says the exploitation of minors is sad and would welcome further policies to protect locals.
Sex tourism has been a part of Medellin for a long time. And I think the new influx of men coming over is probably overloading the city and causing issues. I think those kind of people ruin it when they make it just about, come here for prostitution.
While many young men are drawn to Medellin with the promise of a better quality of life, being a passport bro is not without risks.
So I've actually been living in Colombia for over the last 2 years, and these are going to be the 3 ways that I've found how to stay safe while meeting women while you're here.
In the last 3 years, over 80 foreigners have died in Medellin under suspicious circumstances. Last year, authorities say 39 tourists died, half of them American. The victims were nearly all men and often last seen leaving their accommodation to meet women on dates. At the start of last year, the US issued a warning and advised its citizens to be cautious, as criminal gangs have been using dating apps to drug and rob men. According to a security alert from the US Embassy in Colombia, part of the risk is being drugged by scopolamine, or devil's breath, an odourless, tasteless white powder that, when dropped in someone's drink or sprayed, renders that person unconscious and unable to resist for what could be days. The city's mayor acknowledges that scopolamine is a problem. We approached him for interview for this programme, but he didn't get back to us. For Austin, the potential dangers passport bros can face shouldn't stop people visiting the city.
It sucks because Colombia's tried really, really hard to say that they're not like super dangerous and violent, and then these stories come out. And I honestly believe they get a little sensationalized. I think millions of tourists go visit, millions and millions, and if one has an encounter with scopolamine, it hits the news and they sort of blow it up because it's a sexy story, right? It's interesting. It's like, dang, men are getting drugged over there in their drinks, and it's usually reversed. You know what I mean? Women have to watch their drinks. Men have to watch their drinks over here.
The passport bro movement is not just focused on Medellin. It drifts and shifts to where a passport bro can find the best life for himself, where his currency stretches far and life will feel easier, healthier and more adventurous than back home. Many of these passport bros are very explicit about why they moved, highlighting their dissatisfaction with dating, particularly online dating in their hometowns. Despite the potential dangers, Medellin is still a top location for passport bros, and there's a constant stream of new content encouraging men to remote work and date. Their presence in the city is not going to vanish overnight. So perhaps Medellin's future relationship with the passport bros rests in the hands of 2 types of algorithms: the algorithms of the dating apps and those of the social media platforms that passport bros use to promote their movement online. That's it for this week for BBC Trending. Thanks to producer Jonathan Griffin and Gareth Jones for mixing this episode. Our editor was Flora Carmichael. Thank you for listening.